Bellator 293 this weekend, this Friday night from Temecula, California. In the main event, we've got Marcelo Golm taking on Daniel James in the heavyweight division, number 5 versus number 7. Actually, number 7 versus 8 now, I think, with the updated ranking. But we also got Zingano and McCourt in the co-main event. Also a big fight at middleweight between John Salter and Jeffery. 17 fights in this card for Bellator this Friday night. And also tomorrow we will be posting our PFL 1 predictions. Of course, the main event, you've got the world champion Brennan taking on Marlon Moraes. In the co-main event, Rob Wilkinson versus Thiago Santos. So don't miss those PFL predictions coming out tomorrow. And folks, if you haven't yet though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more MMA here on the channel. Well, lock in because there are 17 fights in this card. 17. My goodness, let's get it going. First fight of the first 4, we've got Conor Gracie taking on David Pacheco here in this fight. Give me Gracie in this fight. This is a guy who's 2-2 professionally. Did lose his last fight at Bellator 252, but does have won by armbar Bellator 225. I'm just not overly impressed with his opponent here in David Pacheco. Pacheco has fought in Bellator twice. He has won one, but that was back in 2019, then dropped his next fight in 2020. It seems like they want Gracie to win, so I'm going to take Gracie by first round submission. It feels like the good pick there. Next up, Maria Henderson will be back in Bellator. I believe it is her first professional fight. Yes, it's her first professional fight in Bellator. Obviously, the wife of the now retired Benson Henderson, but Maria will be fighting Mackenzie Stiller in this fight. Stiller is making her professional debut. She's 0-0. As an amateur, she did go 4-0. I think it'll be interesting because for Stiller here, 4 amateur fights, all 4 of them by submission in the first round. I think it's going to be a tougher fight for Maria Henderson. I don't think it's going to be a fight where Henderson can go in there and get a submission immediately. I still think she's going to win by decision, but honestly, I think it's Maria Henderson's toughest fight to date. I'll be honest with you. Next up, we got Bryce Mederath taking on Brandon Carrillo. I'm going to take Bryce in this fight. 3-0. Haven't seen him in Bellator just yet. 3-0 though in LFA. All wins are by stoppage, 2 of them by TKO, the first one being a first-round TKO finish over Stephen Merrill, the next one being a TKO finish in the third round, the last one being by rear naked choke in the first round. He'll be taking on a guy here in Carrillo who is 1-0. I mean, kind of like Meredith's first couple opponents. He's taking on Carrillo, who has only had 1 professional fight, and it was in Gladiator Challenge, and he won by knockout in the first round. It's a fight where Meredith is going to win. I think he's going to go in there. He should dominate. This is the fight that he should win. Of course, first fight in Bellator for him, I've got him to win by first round finish. I'm going to go by TKO. I think that's the better pick there. And then finally, the final fight out the first 4, we have got Randy Field taking on her opponent in this fight. She's got Ashley Cummins. Ashley Cummins is 7-6. She's been fighting professionally since 2011. She is a veteran of the sport. Usually fights atomweight. She was challenged for the atomweight championship against Alicia Zabatella in her last fight. Lost by Von Flue. That was only back in 2020 though, because since then Zabatella's lost the atomweight championship. I think, yeah, she lost it. Anyways. Cummins lost her last fight for that atomweight championship, and then fought before that for the vacant atomweight championship against now UFC fighter Jinyu Fry. She fought Fry twice, lost to her both times. Cummins is going to be fighting up a weight class though, taking on Cummins. Actually, this fight's going to be at 120, so 15 pounds heavier than what Cummins usually fights at, and that's my main reasoning for picking Randy Field in this one. Field is going to be the bigger fighter. She'll be able to take Cummins down, and she'll be able to use her size to her advantage. So I'm going to take Randy Field in this fight by unanimous decision. She's 3-1 so far. I think she'll go to 4-1 with this win. And the next 4, Mike Hamill taking on Nick Brown. I've got Nick Brown to win this fight. He's 13-2. Hamill's 9-5. I've taken Brown a couple times. Now, he did lose to Islam Mamedov in his last fight, but I mean, that is very expected, obviously, him losing to Mamedov. For Hamill, though, hey, 2 straight wins in back-to-back fights. I didn't think he was going to win. Bryce Logan didn't think he was going to win that fight. Didn't think he was going to be Killers Moda as well. He was supposed to fight Max Roscoff in his last fight. Fight never ended up happening, so now we get Nick Brown instead. We have not seen Mike Hamill since 2021. Had a fight against Usman Nurmagomedov, obviously lost by unanimous decision. Lost to Adam Borch as well, so started his Bellator career off 0-2, but the Borch fight was a good fight for him. Only did lose by split decision. He'll now be getting Nick Brown, a fighter again who did lose to Islam Mamedov in his last fight, but other than that, for Brown, 2-1 in Bellator, wins over Bobby Lee, and then Mantle Nallo in his second fight. We're going to see Nallo in a second here. And then a big win in LFA, a fight that really gets overlooked, and you see Trey Ogden is now in the UFC. Well, in a main event for LFA back in 2019 in Park City, Kansas, Nick Brown goes in there, submits Trey Ogden in the first round of that LFA event. And who was in the co-main event? Joaquin Buckley. Just saying, right? I mean, Nick Brown's not that bad. He's a pretty solid guy. I think he's going to go in there. I think he'll win by decision. I think it's a tougher fight where I don't think he's going to be able to get a submission, but I got Brown to win by decision. Next up, we've got Christian Edwards taking on Rakeem Cleveland. Rakeem Cleveland has lost a lot. He's lost 15 times. Given 8 of those are by submission, 5 of those are by decision, and then 2 of them are by knockout. I think this is going to be the 3rd time he will get knocked out. Christian Edwards is in need of a win. He's lost his last 2 fights back to back. Of course, he loses the big tuna fight to Ben Parrish. He gets knocked out in the first round in 38 seconds in a fight where he was a minus 1,000 favorite in, and then he loses in his next fight to Grant Neal. This is the fight that he can get back on his winning ways. Rakeem Cleveland's a guy who, I mean, he loses a lot. He's been around for a while. He fought in the PFL in 2018 and 2019, fought 2 times in Bellator so far. He got submitted by Steve Mowry in the first round. Then Tyrell Fortune knocked him out in his second fight in Bellator. They are using Rakeem Cleveland to get knocked out here. I'm going to take his opponent. I'm taking Christian Edwards to knock him out in the first round. Next up, we've got Pam Sorensen, the former Invicta World Champion, I do believe, taking on Sarah Collins. I'm actually going to take Sarah Collins here. Now, Pam Sorensen can 100% win. This is probably one of the tougher fights for me to pick on this entire card. I'm not sure, because Sorensen has fought some good fighters, but she's just looked really bad in her last couple of fights. The Zingano fight, the Arlene Blencow fight, she's just looked bad in those couple of fights. I'm going to take Sarah Collins here, and I don't know how good Sarah Collins truly is, though, because she's one of these fighters fighting at Eternal MMA, of course, in Australia. Or I believe her fight might have been New Zealand. It was in Australia. She fights for Eternal. She's fought 3 times. She's won all 3 of those fights, but she hasn't beat a fighter with a winning record, or she's only done it once, and that fighter was 2-0. The other 2 are making their professional debuts. So we really don't know how good Sarah Collins is. I'm just kind of counting on Pam Sorensen being very washed at this point in her career. I'm going to take her opponent. I'm taking Sarah Collins to win this fight. I got her by decision. Next up, we have got Lance Gibson Jr. taking on Vladimir Tokov here. I got Lance Gibson Jr. by 2nd round finish. Tokov lost the last fight to J.J. Wilson and drops it by split decision. He beat Daniel Scatizzi before that and lost to Chris Gonzalez before that fight as well. Gibson's undefeated. This guy is looking pretty good. He's 7-0. I think he's fairly big for the lightweight division, obviously just in size. Beat Dominic Clark in his last fight by triangle choke. Won the fight before that by unanimous decision. He's been running through guys in Bellator. I mean, again, he's 5-0 in Bellator. Lance Gibson is one of these guys that Bellator is looking to push, and I think it's a good way for him to show off his power. And I think he's going to get Tokov. I think he's going to get Tokov to the ground. I think he's going to finish him down there. So give me Lance Gibson Jr. to win this one up by 2nd round at TKO. Okay, now back to the individual fights. We have got Lucas Brennan taking on Josh San Diego. Yeah, this is a fight Lucas Brennan's going to win. I mean, Lucas Brennan's a guy who's gone in his last 3 fights for Bellator. He's won them all by 1st round submission. It's been more of the same. It's been 5 fights in Bellator, or sorry, 7 fights in Bellator, 5 of them by 1st round submission. Who's to say this fight's not going to be the same? Josh San Diego's a fighter who is 38 years old. He's 9-4. Yes, he's won his last 2 fights, but they're not big names, and he hasn't won a fight in 4 years, hasn't fought in 4 years. 4-year layoff and everything. This is a fight Lucas Brennan's going to win. I mean, you look at his last win, the Johnny Soto finish, 1st round rear naked choke, the Ben Lugo finish in the 1st round, the Anaconda choke back in 2021. I mean, the guy is pretty dominant when he goes up there. He's only 22 years old. We've said it before. I'll say it again. Lucas Brennan's one of the guys that Bellator is wanting to push. They want to push Lucas Brennan, and this is another fight that's going to, push him on his way. He's going to beat Milpitas' own in Josh San Diego. He's going to get the win by 1st round submission. Okay, so glad Joey Davis is finally back. He's back after not fighting for 3 years. His last win was unanimous decision victory over Bobby Lee, and the man's undefeated. I mean, Joey Davis, 8 fights in Bellator, 8-0 professionally. The man is, pretty solid in there. 5 wins by knockout. Of course, the former college wrestler at Notre Dame has been pretty untouchable so far in Bellator, given he has not fought anyone all that great yet, and Jeff Creighton is not that guy who's all that. I mean, you look at Jeff Creighton's last couple fights. He won on Stellar Fights 52 in his last fight. Won by knockout in the 3rd round. This is in Civic Center in Salisbury, Maryland. He had a draw before that with Uriah Faber's A1 Combat. It was a draw for the welterweight championship over there by decision. It was a draw. I mean, obviously by decision. He fought Albert Gonzalez before that. Won by naked choke. Fought Max Roscoff back in 2021 in Cage Warriors. Max Roscoff, beat him by knockout in the 1st round, or TKO in the 1st round. This is a pretty easy fight for Joey Davis. Given, I know, layoff and all that is tough, but if Joey Davis is just what he was before the layoff, he's going to be fine here. Jeff Creighton really will not offer him any different. If Joey Davis has to go to the wrestling will be there. If he's going to strike with Jeff Creighton, he'll likely have enough power just to set him down in the first round, and that'll be it. So I'm going first round knockout here for Joey Davis. I don't think it's all that competitive. Again, he's going to be like a minus 900 favorite in this fight. Joey Davis in his return is going to be Jeff Creighton, and he's going to get it done by first round knockout. In the lightweight division, we have got Archie Colgan taking on Justin Montalvo. For Archie Colgan, undefeated so far. 3 wins in Bellator, 2 of them in LFA, 6-0 professionally so far. We've picked him every single time for good reason. I mean, usually, and this is, again, if you're new to Bellator, this is what happens a lot. You're going to get guys, and given Montalvo's a guy who's undefeated, so it's a little bit of a tougher fight for, for Colgan, even though I think Colgan's going to win pretty easily. I mean, you can see it on the screen now. I got Colgan to win this one by second round knockout. But Montalvo's a guy who's undefeated. 5-0 so far. But for Colgan, he's ran through all of his opponents. And again, this is what happens a lot in Bellator. You get guys like Archie Colgan who they're high on, and they're going to give him opponents that really can't beat him, and he's going to go through all of them, and he's going to, beat them pretty handedly. I think his best win might be in Eagle FC, when he won by unanimous decision. Took on a pretty solid guy there, in Dylan Mantello. Took on a pretty solid dude who came back for Eagle FC, won it on their next card. He, 6-2 fighter. It was a good win for Colgan. Takes him the distance, wins by decision. Comes back to Bellator, beats Brian Nero by knockout in the 3rd round, and then beats Jesse Hammond in his last fight by finish of the 1st round with TKO with ground and pound. Colgan is just really good. He's good on the feet, he's good on the ground, he's good everywhere. I mean, this guy, if he needs to submit you, he can. If he wants to strike with you, he can do that as well. For Montalvo, again, finishing his last fight, and it should offer kind of an interesting fight because I think Montalvo will throw back at Archie Colgan, and that's why I think Montalvo is going to get out that 1st round. But when it gets to the 2nd round, again, I think Colgan's going to really start working on Montalvo, and I think Archie Colgan remains undefeated. Someone's has got to go, but I think Archie Colgan is going to keep his. He's going to win this fight by 2nd round knockout. Back at lightweight, Adam Piccolotti taking on Nallo. For Adam Piccolotti, last fight, a loss to Mansour Barnoui. In that main event spot that Piccolotti gets, winner likely goes on. I mean, yeah, if Piccolotti won that fight, he would have gone on to, of course, the Grand Prix, but Mansour Barnoui beats him by rear naked choke in the 2nd round. Barnoui will be fighting Brent Primus coming up next month. It's on the Paris cards, co-main event. But yeah, Piccolotti loses by 2nd round submission. He got that main event spot. It was an interesting spot for him because he's got the close fight with Sidney Outlaw back in 2020, loses a split decision, but then comes back, beats Gorgi Karahanyan by unanimous decision. Booked against Tafik Musayev. Musayev gets moved off that fight to fight Sidney Outlaw instead. And of course, that's a fight where Musayev beats Sidney Outlaw and knocks him out in the 1st round. But for Piccolotti, again, it's interesting for him. He fought Benson Henderson back in 2019, loses a split decision. It's been trading wins and losses for a while. He gets a guy in Mandel Nallo who beat Bryce Logan in his last one, lost to Nick Brown before that. I think Piccolotti's going to get him. I mean, of course, Nallo, is really good on the ground. He can mix it up on the feet as well, but I just think all around game-wise, Piccolotti's better. I think Piccolotti can go to the wrestling. I think Piccolotti can kind of just wear on him. And in the striking range, too, I think Piccolotti is just a little bit better technically sound. So I'm going to take Adam Piccolotti to win this one by unanimous decision. We'll see how it goes. Not too confident, but I'm taking Piccolotti. Kicking off the main card, we have got a light heavyweight fight between Sullivan Cauley and Luke Traynor. Someone is likely getting knocked out, and I think it's going to be Sullivan Cauley delivering the knockout blow. I mean, this is a guy 5-0. A lot of knockout victories. I mean, his big win is the Ben Parrish when he wins by knockout in the 1st round against Big Tuna in a fight where he's a decent favorite in. But I mean, it's just a fight where, Big Tuna had that big success, of course, by beating Christian Edwards. People were high on him, but then Cauley goes in there and knocks him out. Beats Tyson Jeffries after that, and then he beats Jay Raddick after that by knockout in the 1st round. I mean, Cauley goes in there, he blitzes you, and he tries to put you away, and that's what he has been doing. He gets Luke Traynor in this one. The English-born fighter and trainer is coming off a win in his last fight by rear naked choke in the 1st round. Traynor is going to be coming over to the States. Usually you get a lot of these guys with Bellator. They keep a lot of fighters fighting a lot in Europe, like Traynor. Traynor finally coming over to the U.S. for his first American fight, but how do I put this? Luke Traynor, he fought he fights guys who aren't American prospects. And his one loss is Simon Biong by unanimous decision back in 2022, a fight that he was a huge favorite in. He loses. Like, guys like that. Trainor's not going to be fighting up-and-comers from the United States, but he's going to be fighting up-and-comers who aren't very good from the UK. And I just feel like the talent pool in America is a little bit better. That's besides the point, because I still think Sullivan Cauley's going to win no matter what. I'm just trying to explain why Luke Traynor is different, why he's coming over to the United States to fight this fight in Temecula. But Sullivan Cauley's better. I think Trainer's best pathway to victory is on the ground. If Trainer can get Cauley down, try to take a back or submit him, that's probably going to be his best pathway to success. I don't think he's going to get there, though. I think Cauley's going to be able to fire off the hands, and then Cauley's going to sit him down. So give me Sullivan Cauley to win here, opening off the main card. Give me Cauley by first round knockout. Okay, my apologies for the audio quality in the last prediction. I don't know why it screwed up. But anyways, Jaleel Willis versus Rustam Khabilov in this fight. Here we go. Khabilov's back. Interesting. I mean, the guy went 10-3 in the UFC, fought George Masvidal, beat George Masvidal by unanimous decision, lost to Benson Henderson in a main event of a fight night that I believe, where did Henderson go from there? He fought RDA after that. Yeah, he got a fight with RDA after that, but I mean, it was a big fight for Benson Henderson. Khabilov loses to a rear naked choke because the fight where Khabilov wasn't that small of an underdog. Like it was decent. Like he's a plus 190 underdog in that fight. The fight that screwed him up though was the Adriano Martins fight. Khabilov's a minus 500 favorite. He runs into an older Adriano Martins, and Martins beats him by split decision. Khabilov comes back though, wins a bunch of fights, beats Chris Wade, beats Kajan Johnson, loses to Diego Ferreira. It was on a fight night card with Blachowicz Santos over in the Czech Republic, and then it beats, in his last fight though, he beat Sergey Kondosko, beats him by unanimous decision. That was in November 2019. That was in Russia. That was on the Magomed Sharipov Calvin Kattar card. So, for reference, Zabit Magomed Sharipov has fought more recently than Rustam Khabilov. That's been a while. But Khabilov, again, on his way out the UFC, the man had won 7 out of his last 8 fights. He's 24-4. I mean, the guy's pretty solid. You know, wrestling, he's a pretty good wrestler. He's going to try to get you down the ground. He's going to try to grind you out down there. He gets Jaleel Willis in this fight. I just think it's a tough fight for Willis because look at Willis' 2 losses. He lost to Sabah Hamazi. He got submitted by arm triangle choke in the first round. And then Mukben Berkimov submitted him by guillotine choke in the first round as well. Right? Like, Khabilov, that's just a tough stylistic matchup for Jaleel Willis. It really is. It's a tough stylistic matchup for him. And that's why I'm taking Rustam Khabilov. I think Khabilov just honestly offers up a really tough matchup for anybody. Just because the pace that he's going to bring. I don't know what he's going to bring, though, at 36 years old. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. But in this fight, I can assume that he's going to take down Jaleel Willis and he's going to give him trouble on the ground. And that's why I'm going to take Rustam Khabilov in this fight. Again, I don't know what we're going to get after 4 years off. But if he's just a little bit of what he was in the UFC, I think he's going to have a lot of success in this fight. So give me Rustam Khabilov again to beat Jaleel Willis. I got him to win by unanimous decision. Next up at middleweight, we have got John Salter versus Aaron Jeffery. This is a fight that can seriously get Aaron Jeffery a title shot because you look what he's done so far in Bellator. Primarily, we're looking at the win that he's got over Austin Vanderford. He knocks out Vanderford in the first round. Vanderford's a guy who's fought for a world championship before in Bellator. Lost to Gegard Mousasi, but, you know, John Salter's a guy who also fought Gegard Mousasi and lost to him for the championship, right? I mean, Salter's last fight, he lost to the current champion now in Johnny Eblen. Hell, if Aaron Jeffery wins this fight, Aaron Jeffery's getting a title shot. It's that simple. I mean, we'll see about John Salter because in this fight, Salter's got to take Aaron Jeffery down. He's got to take him down because that's the only way he's got a chance of winning this fight. That's how Kyra Barhaio beat Aaron Jeffery. That's how Brennan Allen beat Aaron Jeffery. His only 2 losses are against primary wrestlers recently. He lost back in, or actually, well, if you go back to 2015, we lost to Sean Brady, another guy who's a wrestler too. His only losses are to wrestlers. And if John Salter is going to have, if he's going to, you know, beat Aaron Jeffery, he's going to have to follow the same formula. He's going to have to try to take down Aaron Jeffery. He's going to have to try to give him a tough night on his back. I just don't think Salter's going to be able to take him down though. Salter's getting up there. He's 38 years old. Aaron Jeffrey's got crazy power, I think. I mean, his striking is really good. You look at his 2 fights in, of course, Bellator. Fought really well in CFFC. He was the defending champion over there for a while over there with that promotion. I think Jeffrey's going to run through John Salter here. I don't think it's all that competitive. I got first round knockout here for Aaron Jeffery. My question to you is, what does John Salter do? Seriously, what does he do that's going to beat Aaron Jeffery? He's going to have to take him down. He's going to have to try to hold him down or either submit him. I think Jeffrey's going to catch him on the way in. I don't think Salter's able to contend at all in the feet, obviously. So Jeffrey's the way quicker fighter. He's the way stronger fighter, and he's got more power, too. So Aaron Jeffrey's going to win this fight. Again, I don't think it's all that close. Give me Aaron Jeffery to win this one by first round knockout. Book him against Johnny Eblen next. That's a fight I want to see, because again, you look at Jeffrey's losses, all UFC fighters and all guys who are primary wrestlers, it would kind of formulate, I think, in a potential Johnny Eblen victory. But we'll see. Aaron Jeffery here, though, beats John Salter by first round knockout. Co-main event. In the featherweight division, I don't know, honestly, what's happening to Chris Cyborg. Is she fighting still? I don't know. But if Chris Cyborg is still around, this is likely a number 1 contenders fight. They might try to give it to Sinead Kavanaugh. Honestly, they might try to do that. Actually, it's probably going to be Sinead Kavanaugh. The winner of this fight, I think, will fight Sinead Kavanaugh for the number 1 contenders spot, of course, for Chris Cyborg. But does Chris Cyborg still fight? I don't know. We got Leah McCourt and Kat Zingano. Now, I'm taking Leah McCourt. This is why. I think Kat Zingano has beat a lot of fighters who aren't very good anymore. She's 40 years old, about to turn 41 in a couple months. I just don't think she's all that good anymore. Look who she's beat. Yes, she beat Pam Sorensen. Pam Sorensen, I just picked Pam Sorensen to lose to a fighter who's 3-0 and who's barely fought anybody. That's saying something, right? Zingano beat Gabrielle Holloway, a fighter who was 6-5, now 6-6. Same fighter who boxed Chris Cyborg and Cyborg beat. She beat Olivia Parker to Kat Zingano. Okay, she was a -900 favorite. Olivia Parker goes to the PFL. She gets submitted in the first round as well. Like, I mean, against fighters making their pro debut. She lost to Chelsea Chandler. She got submitted as well. Like, Kat Zingano's not fighting good fighters. Yes, Pam Sorensen was okay, I guess. But, like, come on. I think Leah McCourt can beat her. Honestly. I mean, I think Leah McCourt can outstrike her. I think Leah McCourt might be able to out-wrestle her. We'll see. I just think, okay, McCourt's going to be the way bigger fighter, right? I mean, I know Zingano's only 5'6", McCourt's 5'8", but, like, McCourt's a pretty big 5'8", and Zingano, we'll see. I want to see how these two are matched up on weigh-in day, because I think Leah McCourt will tower a little bit over her. I'm not sure. But I'm not overly impressed with Leah McCourt either. It's just, I think McCourt's the way younger fighter, obviously, and I think she's just better than what Kat Zingano is at this point. I think Zingano's washed. I think she is. I think they handpicked her fights to get her to Chris Cyborg. Well, Chris Cyborg doesn't want to fight right now, which is fine. So they give Zingano Leah McCourt because Leah McCourt's like number 3, right? So they have to book her against Zingano, and then Sinead Kavanaugh's over there as well. I think McCourt wins. You know, she beat Danae Silva in her last fight by unanimous decision. She lost to Sinead Kavanagh, which really sucks, honestly, and that's the fight where you're like, can we trust Leah McCourt? I don't know. She beats Janae Harding. Yeah, give me Leah McCourt. Not confident at all, but give me Leah McCourt. I don't think Zingano's all that good anymore, so I'm going to take McCourt to win by unanimous decision. And for the main event, we've got Marcelo Golm taking on Daniel James in the heavyweight division. Not a fight with title implications at all, but it's two guys who are going to go out there, they are going to swing, and someone will likely get knocked out, or someone's going to get finished, because Marcelo Golm will probably submit him if he doesn't knock him out, right? That's likely the pathway to victory for Marcelo Golm, but I mean, hell, Daniel James' last fight comes in, beats Tyrell Fortune, looks really good in doing so. I mean, it's a good win for Daniel James. The American Predator looks really good in that fight, and they said it in the open. They were like, all right, Daniel James in Bellator here. First time Bellator for a long time. He fought back with the promotion back in 2014. He made his professional debut over there. Bellator 112. The main event was Pat Curran and Daniel Strauss. I mean, it was a very long time ago. But Daniel James comes in. He's been fighting the ACA. He's been fighting, that Russian promotion over there. And, he's there. He's booked to lose. He's booked to lose against some of these guys that they want to push. Like, he fights a former UFC fighter, Rafael Pessoa, over there. He beats Pessoa in the second round. He beats a guy who's an underdog against and Dennis Smolderev, or I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he beats him by knockout in the first round. Like, Daniel James went over to ACA and he won some fights. Given he lost some too, he went 4-2, but one of them was a DQ and a championship. Or no, that was an LFA. But still, I mean, he goes 4-2 over there. Like, Daniel James is pretty well over there. He's got power. He's, at 41 years old, he's still very decent. He's got to keep this fight standing, though. That's simple. Got to keep the fight standing. He's a decent wrestler. He can fight out some spots, but grappling-wise and jiu-jitsu-wise, Marcelo Golm is better. So if James keeps this fight standing, he can win, and that's why I'm taking him here. I'm going to take Daniel James to win by knockout in the first round. I think you see a crazy fight. I mean, Daniel James finally getting a main event spot. I mean, it's been a long career for him. He's fought 21 times, his 22nd fight at 41 years of age. Finally gets a main event spot. I think he's going to cash in here. I think he's going to beat Marcelo Golm. I think he's going to beat him by first round knockout. That's the pick I have here. Again, I don't think Golm's going to be able to do much with the wrestling. I think James is going to stuff him, and I don't think Golm's going to get him in a spot where he can submit him. And even then, Daniel James's jiu-jitsu and grappling, honestly, is not that horrible. So I'm going to take the American Predator here. I think Daniel James is going to catch him early. I think Daniel James is going to set him down. And the American Predator, again, is going to win by first round knockout. So, folks, that'll do it for our Bellator 293 predictions here on the channel. Make sure to come back tomorrow for PFL on the channel as well, with the light heavyweights and with the featherweights. So, folks, thank you for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. And Mamba forever.